The Nawaz Sharif Narendra Modi meeting has ended. An hour-long meeting in the Russian city of Ufa is over. We're told that the Indian Foreign Office will soon be briefing the Indian media there. The meeting being attended by Narendra Modi, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, Foreign Secretary Jai Shankar, MEA spokesperson Vikas Swarup on the Pakistani side, Mr. Sharif Sartaj Aziz, the advisor to the Pakistan Prime Minister on Foreign Affairs and National Security, Tariq Fatmi, Special Assistant to the Pakistan Prime Minister, and the Pakistan Foreign Secretary Ejaz Chaudhry, and the spokesperson Qazi Khaliullah. So that's been the delegation level talks that are over. It lasted for an hour, so it's just got over, and that meeting taking place against the backdrop of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meeting taking place. Their first meeting in 8 months. Do we take any, the last time the two leaders met, Raj, they met for what, more than 2 hours, if I recall, at Hyderabad House. It was an extended meeting, lunch, and the Prime Minister went out of the way to reach out to Mr. Sharif. This seems to be more business-like. I mean, we don't know what has actually emerged, but it seems to be much more business-like. I'm going to use Mr. Parthasarathy's words, an engagement more than any kind of sort of sustained dialogue. Would that be fair?
Yeah, they're going to come out with a statement. You wouldn't want to eat your words if you made predictions.
I know, if you make some comment. As I keep saying, the only thing I'm hoping for, the first thing I'm hoping for is that they announce that India and Pakistan will resume their cricketing ties starting December in Dubai. And Mr. Parthasarathy and I'll go together to watch it. But go ahead. But
may I just quote one thing for the fun of it?
Yes, since we are cricket
about
fans.
India-Pakistan cricket, when we were getting whacked by Pakistan in '82, the founder of the Jung group of newspapers, a wise old man called Mir Khalilur Rahman, I remarked to him, "क्या आप ये क्या कर रहे हैं? जायज़ी हमको आपके मुल्क में बुला के हरा रहे हैं." तो he said, "आप समझते नहीं हो, हमारे मुल्क में ये खामी ये है कि हम जंग के मैदान को एक खेल का मैदान समझते हैं और खेल के मैदान को हम एक जंग का मैदान बना देते हैं."
War without weapons, as Imran Khan said, or the book was written, war minus the shooting, whichever way you look at it. But look, are those the kind of positives? Would that be seen as a major positive, Mr. Dogra? Let's assume that, as I said earlier, the two sides say we are going to, and there is a proposal on the table, we are told, to increase multiple entry visas for businessmen on the two sides. If the two sides say cricketing ties, I'm not sure when the two countries last played with each other in an official test series, but I think it's been more than 6-7 years since they've last played.
Not since Mumbai.
No, not since Mumbai. I think 2007 was the last series, so it's about 7 years, 8 years.
8 years.
So if those were the two gestures, I mean, we don't know what else is on the table, but would that be seen as taking it beyond engagement, as Mr. Parthasarathy would call it? Or would that be seen as part of this wider engagement that you've decided to have with each other? Forget the composite dialogue for a moment. Let's just engage with each other.
Well, if business visa happens, it'll be good, but just about good, because after all, implementation is at a bureaucratic level. That means the clerk at the consular section.
That's where you diplomats become the obstacles. You see, you guys are the problem.
But you know,
you guys are the problem. The Prime Minister will announce multiple entry visas, and then when the businessman goes to the High Commission, there'll be a problem.
Obstacles or puppets or whatever.
One little point. One little point.
Yes.
Both of us are consuls general in Karachi.
Yes.
Both of us in Karachi have issued 500,000 visas a year.
That's exactly.
So why don't you reopen the Karachi consulate? I mean, it's been the longest time since the Pakistanis have been saying, let's reopen the Karachi consulate.
Jyoti has a good
but
point.
It will be tit for tat, because then we'll have to open the Mumbai consulate.
Exactly, open the Mumbai consulate.
You will,
For 10 years.
Just a minute.
For
Too much
10
crosstalk.
years.
Yes, go ahead.
Let me put it in perspective.
Yes.
They will not let us open the consulate in Karachi, because consulate was closed after my innings in Karachi because they wanted to accommodate Dawood Ibrahim there.
I see.
That is a fact.
In the consulate in Karachi?
No, in Karachi.
In Karachi. Okay.
There can be only two presences, one legitimate or the illegitimate one. So after closing the consulate, they had to accommodate Dawood Ibrahim there. And that's a reality. As far as Bombay is concerned, we've never objected. The only thing is whether they can afford the real estate prices in Bombay.
Okay, I just want to get a Pakistani viewpoint. Shaukat Saeed, defense analyst, joining me from Islamabad, from Pakistan. Awana. Okay, I just want to go to Smita. Go ahead, Smita.
Well, Rajdeep, of course, as you just mentioned to the viewers that the meeting lasted for close to an hour. It really lasted 55 minutes. What we're expecting next is the two foreign secretaries, S. Jaishankar and Aizaz Chaudhary, to make statements. We do not know if it can be a joint statement as of now or not, as in if the two foreign secretaries will come together in front of the media delegations or not, or will they have their press statements individually. But also, the issues that we were expecting, they were raised, indeed, is what sources are suggesting, from the issues of terror to the visa issue. Now, in the visa issue, remember, as far as the visas for people above 65-year-old are concerned or below 13 years are concerned, there was a broader agreement in 2012 itself, and 2012 was the year when we saw a lot of movement between India and Pakistan, with Chidambaram, of course, who was then Home Minister. He had gone to Pakistan. Also, S.M. Krishna, then Foreign Minister, had visited and held talks with Hina Rabbani Khar. But the multiple entry business visa, which they are now planning to give, to at least 10 cities for businessmen over a certain, of course, turnout, that is something that has been discussed. We do not know yet if there is going to be a concrete announcement to that effect. But what is interesting, Rajdeep, we should not miss out the fact that the next meeting that Narendra Modi goes into is with President Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, which is in half an hour for now. So, that meeting with the Chinese, of course, a day ahead of his meeting with the Pakistani counterpart, and now going into that meeting with the Afghanistan, clearly speaks a lot about the kind of regional situations or the global, in fact, equations too that we talk about. Rasdeep.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, Raj.
I'll just stick my neck out a bit. I think the three areas that they would do. One is contacts, which is what we're talking about, the visa. You'll see something on that. I would think you would see something on some expression on connectivity, which we've been trying to move there, whether it's the Wagah border, trade across on that front. There would be something on that. And I think there would be some issues on cooperation, apart from the big issues that are there, which is...
Are you saying that the contentious issues, be it 2611,
they will be there.
We are keeping those on the back burner now? We are not going to make a statement on Lakvi?
They will make a statement on that, as well as on what Pakistan's concerns are on Kashmir. Both sides will agree on some sort of formula on that. But on the three fronts, which Mr. Modi has always been emphasizing with the SAARC, you remember Jaishankar took the SAARC Yatra, which was these 3 points: contact, connectivity, cooperation. So I think you will see something of that in the statement that's coming forward.
Let me go to Lieutenant Colonel Shafqat Saeed, joining me from Pakistan at the moment. Lieutenant Colonel, how do you see this meeting coming up? What are your expectations? Is the general sense in Pakistan not to keep expectations too high this time?
I think we should not be keeping our expectations very high, but this interaction is always very good, and once the frequency of these interactions increases, then the confidence building starts, and then you can progress in some positive direction. And I would say that it is very important that this dialogue channel remains open, and this is even kept in between the warring sides as well. And we must never let this contact get lost in this small petty issues, because the people of subcontinent deserve what the people of the European Union or Middle East are enjoying. We also deserve that. And that is only possible if India-Pakistan relationship is good.
But how do you deal with the contentious issues? India, for example, has made an issue and will continue to make an issue of prosecuting the 2611 accused. So if a Zakir Rahman Lakvi is still roaming free, if a Hafiz Saeed Jamaat Dawa is not seen as a banned organization, these are issues that will continue to prey. Do you believe that Pakistan is willing to reach out to India more than halfway on these issues? Or do you believe these issues will remain on the back burner and other issues will continue to engage us?
Look, I would go a little back. Once Mr. Nawaz Sharif went for the swearing in of Mr. Narendra Modi, you would realize that Mr. Nawaz Sharif is all way out to embrace India and go to any extent for the peace in subcontinent.
But is he in charge? Is he in charge? Does he have the sorry to intervene? Does he have the mandate, or is that a decision which the other Sharif, Rahil Sharif, will take eventually? Can Nawaz Sharif have the mandate to push ahead with a dialogue?
Now there is a problem when it comes, and when you start saying that Mr. Nawaz Sharif is not. He is not the man in authority. Pakistan is being ruled by ISI and the military. Nawaz Sharif is the chief executive. and army and ISI, and these all are the organs of the state, and they of course contribute to his decision making. But once you start getting into anything like this meeting between Mr. Narendra Modi and Mr. Nawaz Sharif, you go on to say that in Pakistan there are other powers which are consequential, and it is not the democratically elected government.
Right.
Now there is where you try to spoil the pudding. I think that you need to change your orientation towards Pakistan, and please make peace your main objective.
Sir, I see myself as a peace. I see myself as a peacenik, but I also see myself as a realist. So let's come down to realism, and I'll get you to respond, Lieutenant Colonel Saeed, in a moment. But there is this question: and who is in charge? It's a question that will always be asked. You know, Lieutenant Colonel Saeed is right that maybe Mr. Sharif, who's a businessman, many believe, before he's even a politician, would like the idea of a stronger India-Pakistan relationship that promotes business relations. I remember a former Prime Minister telling me once that he saw Mr. Sharif as a potential partner, let's say, in resolving the Indo-Pak relationship. But is he in charge?
Rajdeep, can I tell you what Zail Singh told Nawaz Sharif? When he was the Chief Minister of Punjab, he came here for the first time. And that is when terrorism in Punjab, our Punjab, had started, thanks to Pakistan. So Nawaz Sharif came and gave the same thing to Mr. Zail Singh, who was then the President of India, and said that let's have trade, let's have brotherly relations, let's have हमारे आपस में जो हैं रिश्ते सुधरने चाहिए, हम तो भाई भाई हैं और ये वो. तो President Zail Singh, wise old man, he kept listening. Then after, जब वो उन्होंने खत्म कर दिया, तो Zail Singh जी कहते हैं, देखो कुड़ी या कुंड कट सकती है या अख मार सकती है. You know, you can either have trade relations or you can trouble us with terrorism. You can't have it both ways. That same thing continues today.
So therefore the trust factor remains. The absence of trust remains.
The larger question is who's in charge. Let's be very clear, the army has a major role to play in foreign policy, but it is good for India to engage with the civilian government. You need to break this sort of
that goes without saying. The question is therefore, how far do you go with the civilian leadership?
You go as far as you can.
What is how far as you can?
What is it?
What is how far as you can? Can Narendra Modi tell, or I hope he has told Nawaz Sharif that look, what has happened with Zakir Rahman Lakwi is unacceptable to us.
Yes.
And Mr. Sharif tells him, and Mr. Sharif turns around and says, there's a rule of law. We are ensuring that the rule of law prevails.
Okay.
Can we trust the man?
Can
we trust the man when he says that?
What is it that India wants? India wants a peaceful border.
India wants to
end
see
of terror.
Yes.
End of terror.
Yes.
Peaceful border, right? Those are primary concerns.
Yes.
Now you have to go with Nawaz Sharif as far as he can go. Can he deliver on the border? Can he deliver on terrorism? The point is, can he do other things? I think you have to play the Pakistan policy
I am going to say what Zail Singh said. I'm going to say what Zail Singh said.
But you can't be unilateral.
Can you have Jhappiya and Pappiya, and can you also have a situation?
The point is, Rajni, why is it either or? Why is it an either or situation?
Because you can't have a situation.
You can do more than one thing at the same time. Which is what Narendra Modi is trying to do to his credit. I will say that while I think he was wrong in cancelling the foreign... No. He was wrong in cancelling the foreign secretary level... He was wrong in cancelling the foreign secretary level dialogue, which has brought the relationship to where it is, minus square one. Having said that, I think I will give him credit that he is reaching out. He understands that you cannot have an either-or policy with Pakistan. You have to play Pakistan at several levels. You do with Nawaz Sharif what he can do, which is you do border, you do trade, you do visas, you do people to people. You do people to people.
Then all I will say, Jyoti Malhotra, is that Narendra Modi has changed since 2013, where he made it very clear.
2014.
No, 2013. Just a minute. In 2013, when Salman Khurshid entertained the Pakistani Prime Minister who was on his way to Ajmer and gave him biryani, you had a situation where Narendra Modi was among those who raised the red flag.
Well, he is the Prime Minister of India, Rajdeep.
So has he learned?
That's the big change.
Has he changed?
That's the big change.
And do you believe that's a good change? That every time we have these meetings, we should not even get into this trap. Is Nawaz Sharif in charge? Is he not in charge? What happens if tomorrow there's a terror attack?
I am quite clear that, in my mind, that no Prime Minister of India can afford to be an idealist.
Exactly.
He has to be a realist. Now, the realism is in telling the other side that there will be consequences and costs if you continue with terrorism and enforcing it. And I would tend to believe right now that we're doing a pretty good job of enforcing it. Okay? And I am not a dulat. So I will not go beyond that. The other point is that the fact of the matter is that we do not live in an ideal world. This country cannot accept another terrorist attack. The response will be far different from what it was in 2008.
So are you clear that that's a line in the sand? Is that a line in the sand?
That's a line. Yeah.
Irrespective of what you heard, you heard what the Pakistani foreign minister said yesterday?
Of that I have no doubt.
Defense minister.
You heard what the Pakistani defense minister said?
I've heard this.
So you believe despite that?
I know the Pakistan.
You believe that Narendra Modi
I know the Pakistani nuclear threshold, so I don't.
My God, Partha
listen, don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
Partha seems to know.
I don't interrupt you when you are speaking. And don't interrupt me when I'm speaking. Don't interrupt me when I'm speaking.
You don't have to be so rude about it.
No, 1 minute.
So the fact is that we know that nuclear threshold, so let's not get into that. The fact of the matter is that we need to have a nuanced policy. The nuanced policy is an engagement, is a policy which makes it easy to us to be seen in the eyes of the people of Pakistan and people of the world, more important, to the international world, as being reasonable. That can be done in several ways by people-to-people contacts and so on. But the line in the sand is terrorism, and that message has to be conveyed in no uncertain terms. I have no doubt he has done it. Otherwise, you don't keep a large delegation. Next, I think what will emerge from this is perhaps a measure of agreement to carry forward a process of engagement, not necessarily of dialogue, which is good. I have no problem in us, for example, granting much easier visas to Pakistani Sufis visiting shrines in India. I mean, these are steps we can take. But we have to draw a distinction.
But that is not, my worry is diplomats say this here in television studios. What happens on the ground?
Listen, I'll give you
an example. Last week itself, Mohammad Hafiz, the Pakistani, wanted to come to Chennai to have his bowling action checked so that he could play the next test match. India held his visa, he could not play the test match. So I'm just asking.
No, but unless you stop terror, Rajdeep, how could you allow a Pakistani cricketer to come to India to fix his bowling action? How can you do that, Rajdeep? It's not acceptable. The fact is, you must stop terror. You cannot have anything. You cannot. I mean, this kind of conversation is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the point. I think
this is a neighboring country, for crying out loud, and as every prime minister.
So I'm asking you that precisely, Jyoti. Yes. That if I have given you a concrete example of a cricketer who last week only. The Indian government sat on his visa, he didn't get his visa in time.
That is ridiculous.
That is ridiculous,
I think Prime Minister Modi has learned in the last year, since he ordered the cancellation of the Foreign Secretary level talks, that there is a larger world. And that he has to deal with Pakistan in the way...
So he has evolved.
He has evolved.
His Pakistani policy in that sense has evolved.
I think today's reaching out, the fact that he asked Jaishankar to call the Pakistan Foreign Office and say, we want to talk, for whatever the reasons are, whether he's going to meet Barack Obama soon, and he wants to say that, listen, I've tried, whatever the reasons are. He cannot ignore, he cannot wish Pakistan
Take your point.
It's not in the Pacific Ocean. It's on the line of control, just on the other side.
Can I just take a break and then come back with more? It's interesting, whenever India and Pakistan are in dialogue, we in studios go around in circles.
That's right.
And the world doesn't change. I told one of my producers that 10 years from now, maybe we'll have the same discussion and you can replay this discussion itself. Only the prime ministers may have changed by then. Though if you know what Narendra Modi thinks, he'll be prime minister for the next 20 years.